Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Brad, today you want to talk about the 10 best treatments for golfer's elbow, which is also known as medial epicondylitis.
Or thrower's elbow.
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yep. This is people throwing a ball, throwing a javelin. You know, if you're throwing something over your head, you're working these muscles.
Throwing it away.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, I'm a golfer, and I've never had this, thankfully.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, but I can certainly understand how you can get it.
Well,
but
let's get Napoleon over here and talk about what are we talking about in particular. And here we got Napoleon and Gumby and there's a few people out there, Bob.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. And we have subscription buttons here and here. And please take a second to like us on Facebook. Quite often we're giving away something, so you know there's a reason to be there. So
you better believe it.
All right, let's go.
Let's look at this. So we're looking at golfer's elbow. It happens on what we call the medial aspect of the elbow. In other words, the inside, which is right there. And we're looking at a bone, which is way over in here. But let's look at it with Napoleon so we can take the muscles away and look at it. And here we got a nice piece of duct tape, naturally. Works well for showing where the location is. The bone is right here. And the duct tape represents where the muscles go. They all go down through the carpal tunnel, and there's a couple responsible for bending the wrist this way, and the other ones are for flexing the fingers.
And a couple go into the forearm too, to help turn the forearm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not getting real detailed in there, but the bone is right there. It's called the medial epicondyle, and that's where they connect.
So you can see when that attaches to it, you know, the muscle becomes tendon and attaches to it. It pulls and yanks on that, and after time, this can get all inflamed and sore. And
right, and it's instead of being, if you look at the tape kind of taped on, it's like the tape starts to tear off a little bit, and when you push on that where the muscle's supposed to be connected and it's not connected as it should be, we get tenderness, and boy, can it get tender.
Yeah, it can get, people I think are normally shocked how tender it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes you say, it could make you say bad things.
Right.
So we don't like that kind of thing. Okay. So oftentimes this is a repetitive motion injury.
Right.
Okay. People working in the trades, working with screwdrivers, cordless drills, that type of thing, you're really flexing that wrist a lot. That repetitive motion day after day, week after week.
Swing after swing.
Swing after, exactly, with the golf.
Right.
Or it can be from that, like if you're swinging that golf and all of a sudden, you probably
ground.
never do this, Bob, but you hit it and a whole yard of dirt goes flying out in front of you.
I've been a sod farmer.
Yep, and that abrupt impact through that muscle can help tear that off the bone a little bit.
You can see that with baseball too, or softball.
Exactly,
or,
yep. You're throwing that repetitively. So if you got this, and you know you'll have it, because when you palpate or you push on that bone, it's very tender.
Yeah.
And it makes you really open your eyes up. First thing you need to do is stop the activity that started it. So if you're a golfer, you're going to need to...
Yeah, you're going to need to take some time away from it.
Exactly.
I know that's very hard for, I mean, pretty much anybody in any sport. It's really difficult.
Right, or if it's your work, if it's taken away from your work, you know, if you can have modified duty of some sort. One thing that does help, I'm going to jump to this right away, is you can get an air cast band. There's a number of different manufacturers, but they all work similar. Like this one has what we call air bladder. I'm going to pull it out. It's just simply an air bladder. Can you see that, Lonnie, pretty good? Yeah, okay. It slips right in there.
You're still awake.
And you put that not directly over the sore spot, but typically just distal or closer to the hand. And then
so the sore spot's right here.
Exactly.
And he puts it right here. That way some of the pressure is being taken right here instead of here.
And then you tighten it up like that.
You're transferring. And I pretty much universal, Brad. People that wear this seem like it does help. It doesn't solve it, but it does help.
Right, right. You know, gives you a little more ability to use it without irritating it so much. But you still need to go through the other steps as well.
Yeah.
But they do work reasonably well. One of the complaints is if you find out it works and it has to get too close, sometimes when you bend your elbow, it kind of gets in the elbow. That's one thing you have to kind of deal with. Just a little warning there.
Another thing you can do is ice. This is not really the size of cup that we use, but normally we take like a coffee cup, we fill it with water, we freeze it, then you can actually tear off the tip of the cup, and that exposes the ice. And I usually take my palm and and warm it up a little bit just to make it smooth.
Warm up the ice.
Well, to make it smooth.
I know what you mean, Bob.
So then you can go ahead and just go ahead and very quickly then, it only takes a couple minutes then to ice it up and really get it cooled down.
Right, right. You can use a gel pack too, like this. They take a little bit longer, but you can do that and cool it down with that. But you know, after a hard day, you know it's irritated. You got to cool it down one way or another with this, or direct ice. Direct ice is faster. This takes 15 minutes or so, but they both are effective. So,
all right, what's next on? Usually the massage, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And actually, I'm gonna. There's before we get into what we really have good luck with, the cross friction, is these muscles sometimes will tighten up.
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah, I think you definitely need to massage down in this area too.
So you get the belly of the muscle, and in there, what I like to do is I like to just take my knuckles, and you can just get in there with your knuckles. You can do it with your thumb, but your thumb will get tired because you want to loosen those tight muscles up. When the muscles loosen up, Bob, you're in my way.
I think it's
they
always
can't
good.
see me,
I
Bob.
think it's always good to have a pillow underneath.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good.
It'll show up better.
Oh, yeah. How's that, Lonnie? Good idea.
But they call this like the flexor wad.
Right.
And working on that without a doubt, I think is really helpful. And you generally, I think, find that to be sore too, Brad, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And you'll find knots in there sometimes that feel like a ropey. Sometimes if you can find that ropey knot, the rope would be kind of like going this way because
it's good as a preventative thing even.
Oh, sure.
Brad? I'm sorry, I was cutting you off there.
That's all right, Bob. I'll let it go this time. But yeah, so you can get under your thumb. Once your thumb gets tired, then it's time to get you with your knuckles because they'll last longer. And you want to loosen those muscles up. You'll probably do this for 5 minutes. By that time, you'll get tired of it.
Sure. Get carpal tunnel in the other one.
Yeah. And then if you want to get into the cross friction massage, that's going to get up in that area.
Right.
But if it's really tender and flared up, you have to wait for the right time.
Right.
You got to give it some time. Might be a few days into it.
Generally, I found, Brad, you're going to be a little bit off the bone. You're not generally going to be on the bone itself, just a little bit off of it.
Yep.
And again, what has happened is the tendon has either torn or it's got frayed.
Sure.
And you're actually going to go in there and you're going to actually, and it's got scar tissue that's laid down.
It's starting to scar in because it's healing itself.
And then when you use it again, the scar tissue breaks open. So what we're trying to do is do a massage to make those fibers strong and lined up again.
Right.
Right now they're like a cobweb.
Right. So we want to be honest with you, Bob, I don't quite fully understand it, but it works.
Right. These are all theories of why it works.
But you're going to get in right there's a bone. You'll feel that the really pointy bone. You get into that, and then you're going to get over the sore spot, and you're going to work back and forth. The fibers go this way, so you're going 90 degree across from it, and you're just going to work like this.
And he's rubbing hard.
I'm getting in deep. If you can zoom in, Lonnie, to see, I've got wrinkles on my skin, not from aging process
he's
either.
Using thumb. He can use also 2 fingers. He can go like that, or thumb, or finger on top of finger. And again, you're going to go for. I mean, you can do this a long time, but generally, what I do is break it up. Maybe do 3-4 minutes at a time, and then later in the day do another 3-4 minutes. And
you'll know this is the right thing to do because after the first minute, it's going to start to feel better. If it starts hurting worse, you need to give it a break, give it a day or 2, and get some ice on it.
Yeah, it should start to numb up or feel better, or like Brad said, it's time to...
Right, not numb from the ice, but actually kind of feels numbish from the rubbing.
Right.
It's that sensation.
Yeah.
So, and once you get to that phase and it starts to feel better, then it's time to start strengthening it. So... Did you want to do stretches too, Brad? Oh, yeah, that's right. Stretching. Yeah. So the muscles come here, so we're going to stretch it going this direction. I'm going to show you a couple stretches. You can go like this. That's fairly aggressive. If you keep your elbow bent, it won't be as aggressive. This will get more aggressive. Now remember, you're stretching it just to gently stretch it, not to re-tear it. Yeah. So don't get real aggressive because you might just go back to where you were. So gentle stretches, you're only going to hold them for 10 or 15.
Bump up against the pain, basically. Yeah. Don't go into the pain.
Yeah, you can go pressure on, pressure off, pressure on. Some people like to do the long 30-second stretch. I'm not a big fan of it personally, but that's just me. So you got to listen to your body. You can do some weight-bearing stretches like this on a low table and lean into it. And if you start rotating your hands out this way, it'll get a little more aggressive. And if you're young enough or agile enough to, this is really aggressive.
Yeah.
But that's near the end of it.
Yeah.
So you're just going to work it gently. A gentle stretch, not too aggressive. 15 to 30 seconds, or pressure on, pressure off, up
That
to
one you
10
can start
reps.
fairly soon, I think, if you can tolerate it.
Right, yep. It's all depends, you know, listen to your body. Don't be the He-Man. I think no pain, no gain, because the pain is just going to set you back if you get too aggressive.
So now we're going into strengthening.
Right. Now, this is one that I really like. I like,
A little worrisome, but
actually, you know, you want to strengthen these muscles in this direction. So they're
Sure.
flexors, so you want to strengthen them this way, but they also get involved with this motion
Turning,
of the
yeah.
wrist. So easy way to do that, and it's functional, is just get a hammer, and you can start with the hammer right here, and it's very easy. So you want full range of motion, supination,
he's
palm
got a
up.
lot of the handle sticking out here is what he's got.
Right.
If you can see that or not.
Now, as I go out to here,
Yeah, now he's at the end of the handle.
it's much harder.
A lot more work.
Now, depending on how strong you are, you may have to use a bigger hammer.
Sure.
You know, this is maybe a 16 ounce. You know, if you get a
I
2
think
pound
though-
ball peen hammer.
I think originally though, Brad, especially with the problem you had, I think that's gonna be enough for a lot
Sure,
of people.
yep. You know, if you're one of those big burly people, and when you're getting stronger, you know, they probably have some, you know, a 2 pound
You
maul
can
in
take
their
your golf.
garage.
You can take your golf club.
There you go. Yep, you could do that as
You could go all
well.
the way up, and then you could start going down, and
And repetitions at 10 repetitions with full range of motion, good, slow, smooth control. And then for the flexion part of it, you got a couple options you can use at home. You can use the TheraBand or
you could
the
probably do the hammer
TheraTubing.
for light stuff, huh?
Yeah.
It's not much though, is it?
Yeah, and it's
It's
kind
a
of
pound.
Yeah,
A little
I
awkward.
would probably get a soup can because it's a little more
Sure,
even, or hopefully you have a dumbbell.
sure.
You know, and there's a theory of eccentric, starting out with having the weight up here and letting it down slowly, helping it up.
Eccentric seems to promote healing more.
Yep. The remodeling process,
Right.
as the theory goes. There, and let it down. And you can do repetitions of 10 of that. Go up and down, a normal repetition, sets of 10 to 15. If you got TheraTubing with these handles, these actually work pretty nice. You notice I'm in a lower chair. If I'm sitting on a higher chair, it doesn't work so well because I'm using my forearm on my thigh.
To give support.
Yep, and it really works out well. And if I want to do the eccentrics, I'm going to help it up with the other hand and let it down slowly. Help it up,
Let it down.
let
Yep.
it down. The nice thing about these, if it gets too easy, you can put 2 together.
Boy, now you're working, aren't you?
Yeah, now that's a different
I can
story.
see. Now
By
you-
this time, you don't need to do the eccentrics. You can probably
Yeah.
just do the full
Up
exercise.
and down.
Yep, up
Resistance.
and down like that. And you can see that working really well. And you really want to get all the way down and let the fingers extend. That works at full range of motion. With 2 handles, and it's a little bit harder. If you got a dumbbell, you can roll it down like this. And up, and roll it down, and up, and roll it down. Again, 10 to 15 reps, weight that you feel is appropriate. My wrist is getting tired, Bob.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, does it? I
No.
mean, you know, these aren't huge muscles on most people. You know,
Right.
so they.
And
they-
if
they
you
can
work
get
them
exhausted. Yeah.
properly and focus
Right.
the weight on the right spot.
All right,
Wow.
remember, folks, we can fix just about anything.
Yeah, we can do elbows for golfing, hammer, you know, the worker. But if it comes down to that broken heart, Bob, we're out of luck.
Yeah, we're out of luck.
Yeah, but
just
we're
kidding.
still working
We're
on
going
it.
to try to fix that broken heart.
We're still going to keep working at it.